I think it was alright. It's also fucking cold. Look at that view. I mean, you can't see anything. I'm on a GoPro. I watched the season finale last night. Sorry. Just for context, I'll explain at the end of the video. But I am going to be driving. Doing this review. Not interview, it's just me. Point is, yeah, I thought it was alright. I just hate how the internet, right, makes shows seem like, if you were to go on Twitter after watching any of Stranger Things, there was literally no point in doing it, because it's just a bunch of fucking this, and you got like a Byler fan that's just going in on this guy, and then you've got like a homophobic that's just like, ugh. So basically, if you ever watch a show, ever in the existence of shows, just don't go on Twitter whilst you're doing it. Now, you have to bear with me, because I am setting up my camera so I can get dual angle on this, because this is about to be the craziest fucking Stranger Things review you've ever seen. But let's start from the start of season 5. Okay, so volume 1. Was there some funky acting in it? Like, did it throw you off a little bit? Yeah. Did it take me out the show enough to be like, oh, I want to stop watching this? No. That's what a lot of people on Twitter, like, I feel like say, or just like in general when they're doing like harsh negative reviews, it's like, oh, it's so corny, it's so, like, I can't disagree, there were some like corny bits, but I was hooked. I was excited for volume 2. Volume 2, I was excited for the ending. The ending, I would say spoilers, but why have you clicked on this video expecting there to be no spoilers? Like, why would you click on a review video or like a video like this if you don't want spoilers? So let's address the elephant in the room. I'm not sure what that elephant is. Let's start off with the coming out scene, because that blew out of proportion like awfully. I think the scene was written badly in the sense of they all did like a fucking Lord of the Rings, like, my axe, Legolas. Yes, I saw that in the Moist Critical review. But yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Nah, cheers for that, bro. Dickhead. Yeah, I think it should have just maybe been a scene between like him, Joyce, and maybe Mike, and it'd be like smaller, and like, because who you think fucking anybody in that massive crowd of like 40 people cared? Nah, they literally did niche. So they should, I think they should have just had it between Joyce and Mike, like how they did the not Nancy, the Robin and Steve thing, where it's just like more intimate. I think that would have came across better. I don't think it ruined the show though. And like, do you remember, you see the rating thing where it's like that's the lowest rated episode, and it's on like a, what's it on, a 6 point, I don't know, it's probably lower than 6.7, but like, I'd say the episode itself was one of the weaker episodes, but people just hate on gay shit, so that's why it's got such a low review. And then yeah, I've seen people complain about like the Holly screen time thing, which, yeah, I mean, I suppose, but she wasn't like, it wasn't a bad part of the story in my opinion. The only thing I will say that I really do dislike about the season is just how many fucking people there are, because you just kind of forget, like, what did Lucas do this season? I guess he was just Max's way to get like out of the Vecna's mind or some shit like that. Like, there was a lot going on, too much going on, but hey, you introduced all these characters, you got to wrap it up somehow. Now, might as well move on to the final episode. Got all of that bullshit out of the way. I will preface, this is probably, is it my least favourite season? Yeah, I think it's on par with season 3. Season 1 and 4 are my favourites. Depending on the day, I might, nah, season 1's goated, then season 4, and then season 2, and then I haven't watched season 3 back, so I can't really remember. That might just be internet brain, like, oh, season 3 is the worst season. That's what it is. Everyone forms their opinions, just like, oh, another person said this, I'm gonna hop on this. I enjoyed the show. Now, I do think in this last episode, spoiler alert, even though I said that's the most pointless thing to fucking do. Also, I was supposed to be driving whilst I was doing this review. Fuck it, I'm here now. The last episode, what was it, 2 hours long? And like, it was like an hour of epilogue in the end. The epilogue was great, right? I have absolutely nothing to complain about that. But the Vecna fight, I think, could have been dragged out. Maybe little cyclist Mersh, right, Mersh, how's it going? I feel like it could have been the final 2 episodes. I mean, I don't know how to write a film. Everyone comes out like making complaints about writers, and like, I don't know how to write a fucking TV show. But it did feel like it was over very quickly, if you know what I mean. Like, it started, when did it start? They were on the tower, and then Steve nearly died. Yes, there we go. That's the main point I was making before this, and I completely forgot about it. Someone should have fucking died at the start of that episode. I didn't care if it was Jonathan, or if it was Steve, or if it was whoever. Someone should have died. Even, I think someone should have died earlier on in the show to raise the stakes for the whole season. But like, you got to that last episode, and once Steve was saved by like Jonathan, cool little bromance, I'm happy for you. Like, it just completely got rid of all the fucking stakes, because then when they're getting chased after by this like absolute massive monster, which had a really cool design, by the way. I actually fucking rated it. Where are all the Demogorgons and all the bats and shit? I don't fucking know. I actually haven't seen an explanation. I saw one guy say like all the Demogorgons and the bats morphed into the big, I don't know what they're calling the creature, I guess the Mind Flare. Yeah, it was kind of weird how there was just no, I mean, it's called the Abyss. There's not much there, but like when you first saw Henry go there, like when he got zapped by Elle, there was like loads of Demogorgons just dossing about and shit. And now they've all just gone on vacay. Maybe they've gone to IB for a little party motive. And then also in the Upside Down, I see a lot of people complaining about the Upside Down. It's like, oh, it's not as scary as it used to be. There's no threats. When you've like made it that it's a wormhole and that it's a passage, you're never going to be able to make it as scary as it was in those first like 2 seasons, because in the first 2 seasons it felt so cramped and claustrophobic, because it was literally just like Will or like one person in there and they felt lost. But then once you get to the point where like the gang's going in and, you know, this and that and the other, you can't do much about that. Like, how were you going to write a creepy Upside Down when you've got the whole, like, unless if you completely change the story, if that's the way the story was going, you can't make the Upside Down seem creepy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And then, yeah, I think the Abyss was like cool, but there wasn't much to it. Like, it was just a barren wasteland and then this big thing. Now, I think the boss fight was cool, right? And how it's kind of like a Harry Potter / like Dungeons and Dragons like kind of mix, obviously, because it's like Will's like a Horcrux kind of. He can feel Vecna's pain and like kind of control him. But then the Mind Flare and Vecna are interconnected, so if one's hurt, the other's hurt. If the other's hurt, that one's hurt. So yeah, that was cool. It was over very quickly. I would love to check like the runtime. I didn't check how like quick into the last episode the Vecna just died. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's where they could have dragged it out, or they could have extended it into the second to last episode, end of volume 2. And like then had the fight on like a cliffhanger, and then had the fight end 20 minutes into like the first episode or whatever. It didn't necessarily make it feel lackluster, because the scene where Joyce is like chopping his fucking head off, all like, well, it's not Thanos, because Thanos was one clean sweep, but Joyce is fucking hacking at it. Fair play there. She also didn't appear in like the whole episode. Where the fuck was she? Joyce and Jonathan. Sorry, I got an alarm going off for my lunch. Joyce and Jonathan just like didn't appear and didn't do shit. But there's worse things. But yeah, when she was chopping her head off and the flashbacks and showing like what Vecna's done to all of them, that was very cool. And like Elle's battle with him, the battle was cool, but it was just felt a little bit lackluster. I enjoyed it. They're like, I'm really nitpicking here. I enjoyed the show. This hasn't ruined the show for me. And name any show that can run for 5 or more seasons, right, and have pitch perfect seasons all the way through, right, and then have a decent ending. I haven't watched that many shows, but I don't know many good shows that have great endings. Game of Thrones was shit. Dexter's ending was fucking pretty shit. Like, Prison Break got washed after like 3 seasons or whatever. I haven't watched that many shows, so I can't say that, but it was good, man. And then you get onto the epilogue. Epilogue was really well done, like seeing where people go, you know, Mike moving on, like when he saw Abby and all of that, like playing the Dungeons and Dragons game, and like he was doing the storytelling, disappear. That was all amazing. Absolutely zero problem with all of that. I think it ended nicely, and I think might as well just get straight on to the ending, because I've yapped for what, like 10 minutes now. Elle died, right? She did die. I'm gonna wait for this car to go past and just pretend like I'm not sat in a lay-by. Oh, and there's another car as well, so we'll just wait for that as well. Just pretend like I'm doing something. I'm doing fucking. Oh my god, another car. Why is there so many cars, bro? Oh, I'm just hiding. There we go. Yeah, so let's be honest, Elle's in the void. She died, or whether or not she died, or she's just like floating about, just hitting a few dance moves in the void. She's dead. But the fact that they leave it open to interpretation through hope of like Mike believes she's still alive and like her sister projected her sister projecting it does make no sense. But I don't think it's supposed to make perfect sense because it's supposed to be just like a coping mechanism and a way for Mike. I keep saying, yeah, a way for Mike to like move on from it all, which I think is fine because in this scene you do see, I watched, you know, Big Charlie, my boy, where like day one's like that. I saw him review it and it's like a good point of her sound cancelling things, whatever, were like on, they were pointing, so she couldn't have really used her powers. Now that does leave one caveat because Mike did talk to Elle and they had their whole like kiss goodbye, which was cute. But maybe it's because she was in the upside down and like they were pointing all the things in like a circle around the military and she was like behind it in the upside down. So it's a bit of a jump, but it didn't take me out of like the film. Only on like retrospect am I like, oh yeah, that was like a little bit weird. And also I think the reason why it's like, okay, she did actually die, but it's open to fans' interpretation because you were never going to be able to make everyone happy. Like her sister who projected this thing of her, once she got shot and like died ages ago, so unless she just woke up and perfectly got the timing for like to project the thing of Elle, or she did it really late and like, can they project things into the future, like scheduling a YouTube video? Maybe, I'm not sure, but she did that. And then also when the thing exploded, like when the C4 went off and just exploded the lab in the upside down, like ripping the void, blah 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 blah, the sister was in that lab. She would have literally got evaporated like instantly. So I don't know, it's a cope, but it's a nice way to end it because it's like in all the gang's happy memory, Elle's out there living, you know, a good life. But in reality, she made the sacrifice play, which I think was good. I think it was a good ending. Now there are things to say about the season. I remember when I first watched, what's the mum's name? Mrs. Wheeler. I don't know whether she has a first name. And she like breaks the bottle and like stabs the Demogorgon. The Demogorgon don't do shit. And then he stripes her and like she should be dead. She's been slit open in the jugular. You know, I've seen a few live leak videos in my time. You don't survive that shit. But hey ho, maybe she had a miracle. Also, maybe Will was like, I saw people saying, why didn't the Demogorgon, I swear Will was in the Demogorgon's mind at that point. I know it was early on and he couldn't necessarily control it as much, but like, he also couldn't control the Demogorgon when it was attacking Joyce. But that was like kind of when he first figured out that he could. So there are quite a few jumps you have to make, but I think people dramatize the jumps way too much. Like they don't necessarily take you out of the show whilst you're watching it. And that might just be me. But like after the fact, I am kind of like, how the fuck does that work? But it hasn't ruined the show. People act like that ruins the show. I think you could, because Stranger Things is so hyped, people are so hypercritical about it. If you watch any show, I'm sure you cared about it that much, you could find plot holes after plot holes. I'm not saying that's a perfect way to write it because you should, you know, try and avoid those. It was kind of like when Mrs. Wheeler came down and she like put the fire extinguisher or the explosive in the washing machine, and the Demogorgon goes, huh? And then it's like, all right, bro, chill the fuck out. And like they're playing the music. Nah, like it's not enough to take you out, but upon retrospect, it's all right. But they were never, bro, you could never make a perfect ending to that season. People are just way too hypercritical. And like, again, going on social media whilst you're watching this sort of shit, just watch. I'm also not a Byler stan or like shit like that. Like, just chill out. That shit cringes me out. Like how people become like stans for a show. Like, I enjoyed the show, but we don't need to be doing like, oh, I want to see just Will and Mike just fucking dog it out. Nah, chill out. But yeah, I thought it was good. I could sit here and I could nitpick, but whilst I was watching it, I was enjoying it. Fight was a bit short. The ending I think was good. One thing that I did see, if you can tell, this is basically a respit British worst version of Moist Critical's like 25-minute review on it. He literally, how did the military's goal is to like capture Elle and like kill her or like trap her, and all of the team have just like killed, one second, there's a car going past, all of like these lot, like Hopper's killed so many military people, this, that and the other, and what, do they just let them go? Like, we just get a massive time jump 18 months later and it's like, all right, what the fuck happened here? Like, what, so we're just letting these lot go? Did they sign an NDA? Did they come to some agreement? It would have been nice even just to get like a bit of dialogue to like, I argue for against spamming dialogue like into films and shows, because it's literally been proven that like Netflix and new shows are just like spitting words out and like, we're gonna do this and then this is the plan, and then because most people like are on their phones watching shit. But it would have been nice to just like explain how they fucking got away from the military. Like, the military was hunting everyone, not just Elle. Like, they were hunting Elle and they wanted Elle, but they would happily go through the other. I don't know, that was a bit weird how they just, what, Hopper just got away with it. He was like, oh yeah, I might have just shot 20 of your man, but she's dead now, so equals. But yeah, I was gonna drive and put the GoPro on my head and like record from there during this, but I didn't, because I just started waffling and I need a piss and I couldn't figure out how to do that. So yeah, that was my review. Stranger Things was good. Was it the most perfect ending, most perfect season? No, it was arguably one of my least favourite seasons, but I enjoyed watching them all. So yeah, that's going to be about it. And there's a guy walking up to me right behind this car right now, so I'm going to end the vlog. Yeah, actually, I'm going to keep it playing and just like pretend like I'm doing something, because that'd be a funny little bit. That's if he doesn't fucking come up behind my car. I think he's picking up litter. That's respectable work. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this review here. Cool. No, so Stranger Things season 6. It's not gonna happen.